It's me, AskSpiller 79. A bunch of PS1 games. I can just walk in and out of thrift store. Hello gamers, it's me, AskSpiller 79. It's my show. Glad to be back, and hello gamers, it's me, AskSpiller 79. This is my show. Glad to be back to do another video. This video I wanted to do AskSpiller. Basically, at the end of one of my videos, I think it was AskSpiller Mail, I asked you guys to hit me up with some questions for my AskSpiller series. That way you can ask me any type of questions, whether it's about the gaming community, about any upcoming games, how I feel about it personally, views on what may change or alter video games, and how I feel about the direction, kind of like the whole, just hypothetically speaking, or I mean, just like with Assassin's Creed Unity, how do I feel about that? With all the glitches and the day one patch that didn't come through, and then also with the Master Chief Collection, and experiencing all these games lately, just pretty much trying to get a series of questions started, personal, anything type questions. So the only unfortunate thing was I asked that at the end of one of my videos, and sometimes videos run long, no fault to you guys at all. I should have asked it at the beginning of the video. But what I do want to do is kind of start a trend with hashtag AskSpiller, and that way you guys can leave questions on Twitter, on Facebook, on my site, or whatever. You can go to my Facebook page and just leave questions on there, hashtag AskSpiller, or go to Twitter and hashtag AskSpiller, and then even leave comments, because the comment section for the AskSpiller videos are going to be dedicated to questions that you want to ask me. And if you're lucky, I'm going to answer your question. The first question comes from my good buddy that I just started talking to probably about a few months ago, H the Gamer. He says, "Hi dude, nice to get to know you a bit more. There are two questions I would like to ask you. First one, what do you think about Alien Isolation, the Alien Isolation game? And second, what's your thoughts and feeling about the N64? Look forward to your next video." My thoughts on Alien Isolation 64, from the things that I've already seen about it, it looks to be a pretty interesting game, especially on the current gen systems. The only thing is, I've never watched any of the Aliens, none of them, not even 1 through 3 or any. I don't know if they did I don't know if they did a fourth one. But the game itself looks interesting. I like the whole throwback aspect to it. It definitely has a good feeling to it. Now there have been some, there's been some drawbacks. There's been some comments as far as how people feel about the mechanics of the game and the difficulty level and stuff like that, which myself personally, I like to play a game and just keep it about fun. Now, as far as your second question, how do I feel about the Nintendo 64? I've thought about this question before, not specifically towards that console, but just consoles in general. I think there's a partiality, or you become more partial towards a certain system that you grew up with or you purchased during that gen era. Like when that console came out, and for me, I purchased the N64 day one. If you recall hearing about my story, I saved up my own money and stuff like that. I actually had a job at the time when the N64 dropped, and I got the Nintendo 64, and I bought Super Mario 64. I found out how much it was going to be, so I knocked that all out on one check. And the rest of the games, I purchased a few other games, like a couple hits like 007, Donkey Kong 64. But a lot of the other games, I would just rent them. But my N64 game or N64 collection is pretty phenomenal. So how do I feel about the 64? I love it. I mean, there's a few little tweaks here and there that I feel personally they could have made to the controller, but if I had to get rid of consoles out of my collection, that definitely wouldn't be one because I have too much partiality towards it, and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I would recommend others. I think it's one of those systems that wasn't appreciated, and now that its cycle is over, I feel like it's being more appreciated. Next question comes from Rick Rude. He said, "Hey dude, would you consider doing some gameplay review videos of what you're playing at the moment and maybe some retro hidden gems?" The retro hidden gems, I've definitely thought about, Rick. That's something I've really been considering. Now, because there's always something that people have played that others haven't played that you may have thoroughly enjoyed. Like I have tons and tons of games that I've thoroughly enjoyed that others may have heard about, like in passing with their good buddies, but they never played it. And so that is definitely up my avenue as far as retro hidden gems. Then as far as review and gameplay, I've been looking to get a capture device, like maybe I think it's the PVR or something like that. Basically, you can capture your gameplay. I've been looking to get into that. Maybe next year I'll get into that. I have to see more of a demand for it because it does take a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of recording and stuff like that. And then I kind of feel like it takes away from gaming just a little bit, because if you just do one video, that's one thing. But if you start to do a series, you have to start kind of putting more time and effort into that, because there's a lot that goes into editing. If you know what I'm talking about when I say editing, then, but if you don't, it's hard to explain. The next question comes from Brandon Campernario. He says, "How do you feel about MMOs like the World of Warcraft and others like it?" Personally, I don't like World of Warcraft. But as far as MMOs or online type gameplay, I honestly don't have a problem with it. It depends on what type it is. Like, I like playing Mortal Kombat online, Mortal Kombat 2, and then the new Mortal Kombat, well, the last Mortal Kombat 9. Those type of games I like playing online, or playing with buddies on the same team and stuff like that. Maybe even football. I wouldn't be opposed to the idea. I haven't played World of Warcraft online in years. I only played the demo where it was like I think it was like a few weeks or a 48-hour demo or something like that. I can't remember. But also at the time, granted, I wasn't into RPGs, so my view and perspective on RPGs, leveling up, action RPGs, turn by turn, whatever type it is, I'm just really diving into RPGs in the last 5 years. So now my interest has increased. So honestly, it may change. So those are just some of the questions I got. I also wanted to well, there's another question I got from one of my good buddies, and his name is my gamer XP, or Matt, which is his is actually Gamer XP. He says, "Keep up the great work on your channel." He said, "For AskSpiller, I'd like to know the top 5 games on your Sega Genesis wish list, or your Mega Drive wish list," which I actually haven't had time to think about. I would like eSWAT. It was a robot type game. I used to play that all the time at the arcades. It was an officer who basically became, he kind of had like the RoboCop type thing going on. So I definitely would like that back in my, I would like that in my collection. I know that's available for the Sega Genesis. Let's see. There's not, you know what? I honestly, I don't know. I mean, Sega Genesis was not big on my list. And honestly, a lot of the games that I do want, I already have them. But now I'm kind of moving into unfamiliar territories, just meaning that I'm going to be pressing towards games that I haven't had. Now, I would like I'm trying to remember which Mickey Mouse is the good one. I don't know if it's Castle of Illusion or it's another one. My good buddy Sean was telling me about the good one that you would want. There's a few other games. There's some really good games. Don't get me wrong. It's another one of those systems that I've appreciated a little bit more as time goes by. And I mean, literally, as the last few years have gone by, I've appreciated the Mega Drive a little bit more. But yeah, that's a good question. I still don't know. I would have to just like go through a list of games, because as I see a list of games, it piques my interest and it sparks my mind. And then I'll be like, oh, yeah, I definitely want that. But there are definitely over 100 games that I know I'm interested in. But I'm trying to get more towards either complete in box. It don't have to necessarily have the booklet in there, but I do like having the box, because when I look up there on my shelf, I can just go up and graze and get what I want. Now, some comments that stood out to me that were interesting that I liked, and they came from some of my good buddies. The first one came from Retro Games Collector, which you should check out his channel if you're into the old school consoles and stuff like that, like I am. He's from overseas, so I'm trying to think. His stuff is like the Atari 2600, the Coleco. I think he does. See, this is one of those overseas. One of the systems, I think, is the Vectron or Spectrum. I'm trying to remember right off the top of my head. And you got to give me a break, man. These most of the stuff I be thinking of right off the top of my head. But the question from Retro Games Collector, he has an awesome YouTube channel and website as well, so check them both out. He says, can't wait for you. This is a really awesome comment, and I really appreciate this. He said, can't wait for you to start up the question video again, mate. I've said it before, you have one of the most unique styles, personalities on YouTube, and that's your strength, in my opinion. So just keep being yourself, mate, and subscribers will keep on coming. I think this was in the middle of one of my other videos where I was just talking about working hard and trying to accomplish the goals and just coming up with new ideas and different things. And, you know, I just wanted to read that comment specifically because of how people will always be encouraging me, and they'll let me know what you're doing is working, just stay with it. And so I really appreciate that. And then my good buddies, Mark and Jamie, the Game Shed, they said, good idea to do an update, mate. You're a great guy and a good person for the retro gaming community. Keep up the good work and subs will follow. AskSpiller is a great idea and one we'll partake in for sure. I'm out. So that was a really good thing, and I really appreciate that. As you can see, I didn't get that many comments just because that was more on my part. I should have said it at the front of the video instead of towards the end of the video. But other than that, those are the questions. I just wanted to start off by saying thank you everyone for always subscribing to my channel. And thank you for watching and telling others about my channel. I really appreciate that. Other than that, tell me how your life is as a gamer. What's going on with you? What are you currently playing? If you got any questions that you want to ask me, hit them down below in the comment section, and I most likely will feature you in the video. Other than that, I'm AskSpiller 79, and I'm out.